everybody, and welcome along to League of Europe Season 8. This is Division 3, and we are at round number 7 of the Championship, and we head to the home of British Motorsport for the British Grand Prix, and kind of a sad plus memorable moment this week. It's been a bit strange, so it's quite nice to go to this circuit to race tonight, but I'm sure the drivers will be giving it their absolute all, because there will be a bit of an emotional connection tonight, especially for the British drivers on the grid. My name is Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box is, of course, my good friend, Mr. Evil Dragon. How you doing?
Good. I've got, for some reason, my computer decided to put music on in the background, and I can't figure out how to turn it off, so I'll figure that out in a minute. But I'm here in this beautiful day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, of which, like you said, Jess, an emotional day for the British drivers, being at the home circuit. But we'll get on to that in a little bit as well, as we pay tribute to the Queen before qualifying. But, Jess, before that, we've got a lovely little bit of things to go through.
Yes, we do. We've got the standings to go through, but we'll first of all talk about the results from last week's race. We've had Singapore last week, which was really, really entertaining. I really enjoyed that race, to be honest. Thank goodness the weather didn't play too much havoc in the race last week, so otherwise it would have gone on forever. But there was quite a few safety cars, and Miss Evil Dragon also cursed the Alpines, and we cursed the Alpines on Wednesday in the league. So let's hope we don't curse them tonight, fingers crossed. So Ryan B is second race in Division 3. He took a win. Actually, his third race in Division 3, but I can't count. He took the win last week. Mick finished in second. Matty finished in third. Chris fourth. Melty finished in fifth. MTR finished in 6th, Cam finished in 7th, Ghost in 8th, Major finished 9th, and Abode finished 10th. So those were your top 10, and obviously there were a couple of people that scored points in 11th and 12th. Liam, what does that do with the standings if you got that open?
I don't have the standings open, is the answer to that one.
Okay, I will go through the standings
you
then.
caught me off guard.
I'll go through the standings then, don't worry. I thought you had it open, but it was my fault. Anyway, Cam is leading the standings by 1 point over Chill in second. Chris in third on 72 points. Abode in fourth on 51 points. Mick in fifth on 49 points. MTR is sixth on 44. Seventh is Ryan B with 43, considering that he joined midway through the season in Division 3. That is pretty good going. Harry F on 31 in 8th, and Eddie 9th on 30 points, and in last place is Matty with 28 points. So those are your standings. Quite a few drivers not doing as well. Melty had a nice comeback through the field despite us cursing quite a bit, but there were certain drivers like Abode, who could have been up there, but he got unlucky as well. But Chris managed to capitalise. Matty got one of his best results of the season, and we're almost halfway through the season, and it's already shaping up to be very close already, in particular with our top 3.
Yeah, most certainly is. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the rest of this season is, of course. It's 18 rounds, I think. I think it's 18. It might not be. I think it is. So I'm going to say it is, and if it's not, then it's not my fault. But a lot of drivers... Hopefully, Jess, I don't curse 2 Alpines tonight, because I did that the last 2 commentaries I did, and I think they're going to murder me.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed the French team does well in the UK.
Exactly. Well, we do. I think we have both Alpines tonight.
We do?
Yeah, we do have both Alpines
Matt
tonight.
And Jelly McJellyface.
Yeah, Jelly. The last time you commentated on him was Division 4 last year, and
It didn't go well for him.
No, it did go well for him. Melty's not here tonight. That's why he is filling in. Let me go through the other reserves whilst we wait for the lobby to start. We've got Marty, who's back. He was in the Alpine last week, and he's in the Aston Martin this week, replacing a Letty. So let's hope we don't curse Marty, otherwise he's going to murder us, I think. So yes, we cursed quite a few people, but yeah. But anyway, we are about to get going for the race, which is good news. So it gives us a perfect opportunity to raise a tribute to a lady who was very, very special to everyone's heart in the UK and in the Commonwealth and even the world as well. Unfortunately, we found out at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday the death of Queen Elizabeth II. She died peacefully in Balmoral on Thursday with her family beside her. And she did a lot to our country, and she was head of state of quite a few countries as well. I even had a chance to meet her, even if it was a couple of loads of meters away in Bury St Edmunds back in 2002. Quite a special moment. She took to the throne in 1952, was on the throne for 70 years. We celebrated the Platinum Jubilee back in June as well. And there were many wars back then, the Cold War, and also dealt with 15 prime ministers, starting with Winston Churchill, who was born in 1874, and including the one that got elected a few days ago, Liz Truss, he was born in 1975, and yeah, now King Charles III is now the king, and yeah, no matter what happens, I think everybody should pay their respects to the Queen, because she was a remarkable young lady, one of the greatest leaders of all time. She didn't have any bias to anyone, including politics, which was great to see, and she adored the most awesome things, including cows, believe it or not. She had a smile on her face, and even a sketch with Paddington Bear as well. So there is our little tribute to that. And before we go to qualifying, we're just going to take a minute's silence on stream to mark the tribute to our late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I really hope you can join us with this tribute. Thank you very much. Right, so that was our minute silence done, and thank you to our late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for all your service to the UK and across the world. So, we are in qualifying in Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. First used in Formula 1 back in 1950, but I'm sure Miss Evil Dragon will go through a little bit more detailed facts just a little bit later on, of course. Many, many great overtaking opportunities throughout here, especially towards the Wellington Straight heading into Brooklands as well, which you can actually see the building called Brooklands, which I didn't know about until someone pointed out to me earlier on this year. But Chill's the first man on the lap, 1 point behind the championship leader, Cam, as well. He just seems to get unlucky sometimes in some races. Could this be the race where he wins a very sad but memorable weekend for British people?
Yeah, in fact, it could be, and you're wondering who told you that? It was me. I told you that. The John Brookland sign that's currently, well, at Brooklands, on the, it's the BRDC, well, I don't think it's the BRDC building anymore. It was the BRDC building. I think the BRDC building's in Brooklands, a bit further on. It's a big white building, it's kind of circular. I'll tell you if I see it, but
we
Shell
did
just
see it
coming
on
down
stream
into Stoke. quick braking zone then as you come down into Stowe, then into Vale, and then of course it's the Club Chicane, which is this little complex right here. It's the left and the double right here. So through the exit of Club, and then of course down the Hamilton Straight, past the grandstand on the left and the giant big building on the left as well, which does exist there in real life now. And chill, fast lap in this session right now. And yeah, so Silverstone, first hosting a race back in 1948. Now, a lot of people think Silverstone, oh, it's 1950. No, 1948, the first ever race held around Silverstone on a circuit which looked a lot different than it did now, because the corner of the Woodcut to Cop, pretty much the same thing, but instead of doing Cop's Corner and going down to where Maggot to Beckett, you went down, of course, the giant runways, which are currently pretty much where the loop section is, roughly, where, of course, turn 1, 2, and 3 are nowadays, so pretty little bit of symbolism right there, but chill, fastest on this session. Jasper in second, Jelly in third, Harry from the Ramsam, Maverick from Ghost, Mr. YY is currently in 8th, Ryan in 9th, Major in 10th, Chris Tibos, and the rest still to set lap times, but of course 1948, the first ever race here. Of course 1950, first ever F1 race around a circuit which very much slightly different today. The start line, to be fair though, start line actually pretty much where it is today, of course, just before Abbey, which if you do know, just before Abbey right now is where we are today, just at a club down Abbey Curve, so that is where it used to be. From 1952 to 1974, of course, the historic Silverstone, the one which you'll see a lot in games like Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, as well, a few other games as well. That is the circuit you'll often see around that. The original Silverstone last up until 1990. A few changes, of course. Lovefield came introduced, but of course, 1991, the more modern version of Silverstone came, and of course that had the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel complex. Of course, before that, it used to just be a left and one single right. Now it's a left, right, left, right, left, as well. That's undergone a few changes, of course, from 1991 really up to 2009. After 2009, it went to the layout we see pretty much from today, of course. The circuit which has the pit lane at exit of Club. And of course, as well as that, the little loop section in the midfield, which I don't like because I prefer the bridge section, because I'm old. Well, to be fair, I'm not that old because I've spent more of my life knowing the new version, the old version, but you shush. So there we go. Jess, on the other hand, you were born more of the old layout than the new layout, which sorry to make you feel old.
Yes, I was born in 95, and I remember the old layout was used when Lewis Hamilton take a very commanding win back in 2008 in the changeable conditions, and he was very good in the wet as well, and he took a different setup compared to everybody else. He thought he may as well give it a go, and it worked, and there was a big crowd of fans cheering him on, and that was a very emotional moment, not going to lie, because he tried to win, I think, the year before, but he couldn't. But he won in 2008, which was very, very good. So that was the Grand Prix I knew very well in that layout. Also, F1, I think it was either 94, 95, might be 94 actually, where Damon Hill won his first British Grand Prix race with that layout as well. Quite a few other British drivers have won, of course, in Formula One. Obviously, Graham Hill, Jim Clark. Geordie Herbert's actually won a race, believe it or not, which was quite 95. Good as well. Yeah, 95 he won that race in the Benetton, I believe. Or was it? I can't remember what car he was in. But
it was the Benetton.
It was the Benetton. I was right. I was not imagining things, which is great to see. But here we're on board with Mick as we head towards Cops Corner. Oh, yeah, that was definitely an invalidation there. You don't go wide in Cops. Now, there's some setups where you can. You don't have to lift, whereas the setup I've got, well, you have to lift a little bit, because otherwise you would die and end up spinning into a wall. But as Matt Tibbleton always run that. Here's anyone on laps at the moment. Matty is, who's going through into the Wellington Straight very, very soon as well. In the Mercedes, of course, who has won many British Grand Prix in his lifetime as well. And there was one British Grand Prix, believe it or not, which was called the European Grand Prix in Donington, which I still think is a very nice circuit, not gonna lie. I believe was Brands hatched once racing Formula 1? Yeah, I was right there. And quite a few more as well, but obviously Silverstone has been, I think, the main prominent figure of Formula 1 in British motor racing, and obviously F2 race there as well, F3, and W Series as well. So Matty then he goes right, then he goes into left into 7th gear, and then heading in towards Chapel as well. And make sure you don't go close to the grass as much as you can, because you will end up invalidating. Quite a bit of traffic as he heads towards Stowe Corner. He's using quite a lot of battery, but most of the lap can be taken at full throttle, so I think a lot of ERS management is going to be very, very key around here today. Of course, we don't know what the weather is. Fastest lap time at the moment is Chill with a 1:27.4. What can Matty do? Can he beat that? No, he can't, but still a very impressive lap time from the Mercedes driver, a 1:27.816, and Jelly is involved with a 1:27.892. He's on the run at the moment. Anyone else going to be on the run now? Chris. I think Chris, and we've got Jasper on the run as well, who's about almost 2 tenths up in the middle sector. He's got to find quite a bit of time, like 4 tenths to get pole, which isn't easier said than done, but you never know, he could find all that time in that final sector. Well, 1:27.6. I think he lost about a tenth in that final sector, but still that keeps him into P2. And then we have an AlphaTauri going into the pits because he's probably invalidated. White goes up to the line, 7 tenths up, which puts him into P10. I believe there's a Williams, which is, I'm trying to figure out Harry F, that's it. Harry F up to the line, he's not going to improve, he's invalidated. So those are your next runs so far. We've got a few more to cross the line. Matty's backed off, and I think McLaren is going into the pits. I think, yeah, that's Chris. So, yeah, interesting lap time so far, and only 4 people, Liam, in the 1:27s.
Yep, so far only 4. Will they make that 5? No is the answer, as goes across the line and goes up to 11 back, so he does improve, gets out of the way. Oh, that will be Marty going on a lap time right now, I believe, as he comes down then into Abbey Down Farm Curve, down into the village, chuck into loop then, 2nd gear historically, sometimes he might take it in 3rd, up onto 5th on the exit, so I don't know if that's even just short drifting or an interesting thing then, through Aintree Corner, of course, which used to host the British Grand Prix back in the 1950s, down the Wellington Straight, spot the braking zone into Brooklands on the right-hand side, the BRDC building, chuck it into Brooklands, then down into Luff with the long right-hander. What line do you want to take through here? There's quite a few lines, of course. He takes a bit of a shallow line, gets a good exit on the exit, and then down Woodcut he comes then. Little right-hand kick past the old start-finish line, and then spot the braking zone then. Well, it's not really braking zone anymore. A slight lift, kink it in then at 170 miles an hour through Cops Corner. Chuck it into the left then of Maggot, then chuck it right back left then as you come into Beckett, and then hop over the curb on the inside line, straighten the car out on the left, take the shallowest line you dare as you come down then out of Chapel, down the hangar straight, past where of course the hangars used to be. Of course it used to be a Royal Air Force base back in the World Wars, down into Stoke, chuck it right, keep the car in the track limit, then open the steering up, take the shortest line you can, down into the vehicle complex, then left, then right into Club, and then it's the Hamilton Straight, the last real little bit of cornering here. Exeter Club up to the line for Marty, goes P1 there, 1:27.1, puts him 3 and a bit temps, quicker than Chillin. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Behind him, Mick, also on a lap time, also purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. Through Stowe comes a Ferrari then, lights ablaze, here in Silverstone. 1 British team on the top, but it's the prancing horse that's hoping to take them, well, the gallop out of it, then through the last corner, then see then. From Ferrari, can he do it? No, he can't because he loses the rear, goes to 9, lost about 4 or 5 temps there through that one. That might have put him up around about 6th, 5th position, but lost the rear end in the last corner, dropped a lot of time. We got a few others on lap times as well. I think Major's backed out and got Maverick in the pit lane as Mick drops it through the exit of Aintree Corner. Of course, one of the former hosts of the British Grand Prix. A few others, by the way, spring to mind. We've got, of course, Silverstone, Aintree, Brands Hatch, Donington Park, as well. I think there's 1 or 2 others I shall go and have a look in a few moments. But, bit of a mistake from Mick, but it's Marty Jess in the Aston Martin, the Brexit, the quintessential British team here, even though it's Canadian currently. We'll have to pass him on. No, I don't know if it's still British. I think it's German. Or
To be honest, Liam, their factory is the closest to Silverstone out of all the teams in Formula One. Yep, so it used to be obviously Racing Point, then it was Force India, then it was... well, we're not going to go too much on what they were, but they were loads of teams.
Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, go on it, because we have a bit of a lull.
Between 1991 and 2005, of course. Then it became MF1, which, of course, that's Midland, in 2006. 2007, it became Spiker, and 2008, it became Force India. That lasted up until 2018, where it became Racing Point, of course. And since then, it has now become Aston Martin. So there you go. There is your history on F1. I like doing this. Last time I went to Silverstone, I went through the interesting things. So we've got a Jordan currently in P1. We've got a Minardi in P2, a Ferrari in P3. We've got
a Tyrrell.
Tyrrell. It would be Tyrrell, in P4. We've got Alpine, which it used to be Alfa Romeo back in the day.
Lotus? Oh, no, I was wrong.
Not Lotus.
And then another Tyrrell, then a Haas, because they were known as Haas.
But not Lotus, because Lotus went out of business in 1994.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Tyrrell, then we've got the Haas, then we've got the Williams, the Ferrari, and then we've got the Jordan, the Haas, the Alfa Romeo, which used to be Sauber, and it stayed at Sauber because, of course, Sauber 1993 came in. We got McLaren, Ryan B in the Williams. We've got the Minardi. We've got the Red Bull, which used to be Jaguar, which used to be before that. Let me have Stewart Grand Prix team.
Oh, yeah, it was Stewart. Yeah, it was. Jackie Stewart's team. And he was team principal as well. So, you know the other teams by now as well. So here's the calm before the storm, Liam, as everybody is going on their final runs for today's qualifying. You got to qualify as high as you can, obviously, for the race. Even though there's more overtaking opportunities around here than most other circuits, they still want to get a good qualifying session. And just to let you know, by the way, next week we'll be heading to the French Grand Prix. It will be another sprint format next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So this is the last race in a while before we go to a sprint race. So, well, they've got to score as many points as they can this week to maximise their chances in the sprint next week. I'm not looking forward to France at all next week, but when we're racing, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There we go. I always get bad luck around France, but everybody is going to be on runs now. We've got Maverick heading through into Woodcote. We've got Slayer who's heading towards Cops. All invalidation. Yeah, same thing as what we saw quite a few people do in today's qualifying session so far. As Gels reset to 1. Chill is going through just going through Abbey now as well. A few yellow flags. There's probably people moving out the way. So we will ride on board with people as they cross the line to either start their laps or finish their laps. There's quite a few people probably going to go into the pits soon if they abort that. So we've got YHYY, Ghost, they're about to start their runs. We've got Haas going to start their run, which is not Nantram, it's the other one of Slayer, that's it, Slayer, who is, I think, he's backed off his run. He's backed off his run because obviously he invalidated through Cops Corner. Ryan B, well, both Mercedes are about to go on their runs actually, they're quite close together. We've got a Red Bull of Cam, who's about to start his final run, 16th at the moment, but I'm sure he would definitely want higher than that. But I think there's a train of cars heading towards Stowe Corner, and I will be interested to see who will be the one to come out on top. Who's the first person to complete their final runs, Liam? Can you keep an ear out?
Not Maverick, it's... I don't know, is it Chill?
It might be Chill, actually.
Yeah, well, it was, but until he did that. So it's not Chill, Jasper does not improve either. Neither does Chill. We've got, got one of the Hasses coming through the last couple of corners right now. That might be Naramsab. He's 3 seconds down.
Matt Tibos! Matt Tibos was going to go on a run, but he spun Be careful. Let's hope he's still ghosted. Come on. Get the car pointed in the right direction. There you go. He moves out the way. Good boy. Good boy.
Marty, that is P1 so far for him. Can anyone else improve and jump up? Crisscross the line, then goes up to P3. That's the lap time he wanted. What about Ghost? He was very quick earlier on the first couple of flying laps, but just didn't get the lap time finished. He crosses the line, stays 14th. Mick would dearly love to be up the front. He's so far in the Ferrari. Got one or two cars. Mercedes cross the line then. That is Matty stays in 6th position. The other Mercedes and Ryan B cross the line right now. He goes up to 6th alongside his teammate. We've got, I think
it's
it might
just
be Cam
Mick.
up to the line. Goes up to P6. And then we've got Mick in the Ferrari then. 6100s up on his lap time. Not looking like he's setting the timing screens very much alive right now. The Ferrari then. Last time he came through the last corner, he dropped it. Through he comes, and Ferrari, the most winning constructor with 18 victories in Formula 1. The most winning constructor at the British Grand Prix. Where can Mick go? Only good enough for 8th then. 2nd and 8th for them so far. We've got a few other cars.
That's it.
Coming through. We got MCR. He's on a backed out lap because he stopped behind an AlphaTauri.
That is it for qualifying, Liam.
Yeah,
Marty is on pole position by... Well, it's quite close between 1st and 4th position. Now, we're going to be in for a cracking race. Now, when Marty qualified well in Monza, he won the race. So, will history repeat himself tonight with the British team of Aston Martin? And what a tribute it will be to have Aston Martin be on top in the race. That'll be amazing, not going to lie. But... we will see. We'll go through your qualifying results. Marty on pole, Jasper 2nd, Chris in 3rd, Chill 4th, Matty in 5th, Cam in 6th, Brian B, the 2nd of our British drivers in 7th. Obviously, Chill's our leading British driver at the moment. Mick in 8th, Joe in 9th, Slayer in 10th. Then we got MCR, Harry F, Nadram, YYY, Ghost, Ryan, Belshaw, Maverick, Major, Matt Tibbles, and a boat. We do have, Liam, a full grid, which is very nice to see. And I know you won't be able to see at the moment because I changed screen. What will the weather be?
Cloudy.
It is cloudy, so... and obviously I see dry tyres on people's garages. Now, I'm going to throw you on the spot there. Do you think there'll be a chance of rain? Well, Silverstone, it rained in real life. And we know with British weather, it is prone to rain quite a lot. But... what do you think, Liam?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see Silverstone, of course, in the British countryside. It's always a chance of raining. By the way, we'll go over to my little fact sheet, by the way, of British Grand Prix winners. There's been a lot of them. Lewis Hamilton, unsurprisingly, the most successful driver at the British Grand Prix with 8. Jim Clark and Alain Prost with 5 respective. Nigel Mansell has won 4 times. A couple at Brands Hatch, I think one at Brands Hatch, that's 1986. The rest at Silverstone, Jack Brabham, Nicky Lauda, Michael Schumacher have run 3. A load of them won 2. Alberto Ascari, Gonzalez, Sterling Moss, Jackie Stewart, Fittipaldi, Villeneuve, Coulthard, Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, and Mark Webber have all won 2 races during their time. In terms of constructors, like I said earlier on, Ferrari have won 18 times there. 51, 52, 53, 54, 56, 58, 61, 76, 78, 1990, 98, 2002, 3, 4, 7, 2011, 18 and 2022. McLaren's and Williams, 2nd and 3rd most respective teams around here with 14 and 10. Mercedes with 9 so far, most of them of course coming in the decade, because 1955 and then of course pretty much everything in the 2010s and 2020 so far. Lotus have got 8 victories here, Red Bull with 3, Dallage with 2, Maserati with 2, Cooper, Tyrrell and Areno also with 2. Of course, Dallage and Maserati won it before the F1 Championship. We are going off British Grand Prix. Of course, Brooklands raced, hosted the British Grand Prix back in the 20s all the way up till World War II. In fact, early in the 20s, I think the early 1900s as well. In fact, I think it was one of the first purpose-built racetracks. Of course, doesn't exist anymore because there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the middle of the 1930s and early 40s, and it doesn't exist anymore. Well, it does exist. You can go there. I do recommend it if you are, of course, wanting to go through British heritage. It is a beautiful place, but there you go. Ferrari, of course, as well, most winning engine manufacturer, ahead of Ford and Mercedes with 14 apiece as well. So Ferrari, the most successful constructor, the most successful engine. Britain, though, most successful driver then, Lewis Hamilton, of course, with Mercedes, won 8 races, 2008, 14, 15, 16, 17, 2019, 20, and 2021 as well. But we've got a few British cars, a few British drivers, but only one crown can be won today, and that, of course, the British Grand Prix. Abode then, the last car on the grid, slots himself into the last position, then here, and then in just a few moments' time, we'll be ready to go then for the British Grand Prix. 3, 4, 5, look, but never stare, because the British Grand Prix is underway then. It looks like a very good start then. From the Ferrari, the McLaren, they're trying to come up the inside, but it's the AlphaTauri who's got a storming start of show than the Englishman. Up in a second position there, one car not moving. Abode has had a terrible start. Off the start of this race then, already drama in the background then. But it's Marty leading Abode then comes the Ferrari in third. Then comes Chris in fourth. As they come through, spins, chill. The Englishman's been sent around then at the beginning of the British Grand Prix. The Alfa Romeo getting involved there as Harry F takes avoiding action. Oh, million of cars going wide there as they come down entry. But Marty leads them from Jasper in second. But has the British hopes been crushed by that number one? So far, Abode off the road as well as drama as well. Chris there having a bad stop, but Chill's going to have to auto work for all that. Has got another car off there. There's YY in the wall. So already drama at the beginning here in Silverstone. But the man who got the good start all the way up to second finds himself down in 16th position, 17th position already. And he is absolutely livid.
He must be as well. It's a bit of a shame as well. You can get caught up in turn 3. It's so easy to lose it and have an instant there heading towards entry and then towards the Wellington straight. But it's Marty that leads on the hard compounder tyres, believe it or not. And then we've got Jelly, who's got past Matty on the hard as well, into 5th place. Interestingly, that 2 drivers have gone for the softs. That is Pastor Jasper and Can. They're finding themselves 2nd and 4th respectively. So they've had a good start as well. Yellow flag, that is a Bode, I believe, that's spun. So his race has gone from bad to worse right now as well. But we can start to see Jasper start to close on the Aston Martin of Marty then as well. Jasper then quite close in at the championship. Still got a lot to live up to. But he's nowhere near the top 10 in the standings. But Jasper, here he comes then through Brooklands. To the left-hand side, he sticks then as he cuts to the right, as Abode has retired in the pit lane, as Jasper is your race leader at this moment in time for the British Grand Prix. Cam, no, chasing down Ryan B, who's also had a good start. Let's look at positions game. Most people opted for the medium compounder tyres. That's Slayer down to Chill, and also Bode, but he retired. Chris, YHYY on the hard, as well as Jelly, Matty, Mick, MCR, Nansram and Marty. Obviously Ryan B's also on the mediums as well. And then, like I said, we had 2 people on the soft compounder tyres. Meanwhile, that's an Alpine. That's an Alpine.
Do you know what I mentioned earlier, Jess, about Alpine hopefully are going to have a better British Grand Prix? It's not gone well so far for one of them again. I should stop saying things about Alpine. Don't worry though, Matt's in 11th, so he's on the... well, he's in the points. Oh, another car off.
Maverick!
As that's Maverick and the AlphaTauri now around it is. So, oh, that's a big off. Who was that? Was that Jelly? That is Jelly. That's a frightening accident on the exit of Stowe. Safety car, very much unsurprisingly called. That was a monumental shot.
That's a VSC.
Only a virtual. That was horrendous.
Ryan B went off as well.
What just happened to Jelly there? He suddenly just came across. Delta glitch.
Ryan B went off as well. Ryan B went off as well.
Uh-oh. Harry F 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
I think that was an illegal overtake, I presume, because otherwise, if you go under Delta in VSC, I believe it's a drive-through. So yeah, it must be an illegal overtake. But Yeah, I didn't see where Jelly went off, but I
Chill,
saw
5 seconds as well for ignoring yellow flags. So
that
yeah,
was
got a
chill
major
again.
delta glitch.
That is a major issue at the moment, but which will cause, and you can't get it removed. I don't think either because you
Yeah,
have to
that's
serve it
it.
in the pit lane. But I'm not sure the rules in LOE. It may be different in different leagues. So we'll see how long this VSC goes on then. These hards, don't forget, could last for the entire race. If you pit around lap 6, lap 7, well, lap 7 I would say, end of lap 7 from the soft tyres, you can go onto the hards to the end. And you may want to do so if you're on the mediums as well. But you may want to obviously stretch your mediums out so you could push on those hards a little bit more. So, no overtaking at the moment. Positions gained then whilst we're still under VSC. Major and Matt Tibos are gaining the most with 10 places. Ryan Belshaw's gained 6.
Marty!
Oh, Marty!
Sorry, Jess. Marty's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. Now, Ramsam also gets a 3-second time penalty. A lot of people running into trouble, but we are back underway then here at Silverstone. Jasper leads the way around then from Marty in second. Then comes Cam, the American, who would dearly love to win in the British Grand Prix. That would be something for the American then. Behind him, Matty. Then comes Mick in the other Ferrari, MCR. Then the Ramsat, Major, Matt Tibos, Ryan B. Then comes Harry F. Then comes Chill. Then down in 12th, Ryan B. The second is in 30th from Chris and Ghost, the British team. McLaren, though, to be fair, from New Zealand, running 14 and 15. The Haslan in 16th of Slayer, Y8 to YY. And 17th, Maverick in 18th. 2 retirements. Jelly, who had a horrible accident down into Stone, lost the rear end very early. Just seemed the car just wouldn't stop and flew into the wall very, very abruptly. And Abode, who had issues before we even got underway, then he is out on that number 1. So 2 people out, Jess. 18 drivers remain, but it's 1 Ferrari at the top so far, and that is a Jasper, who presumably will be coming in at the round at lap 7 to 9. Historically, the soft tyres on this game do start to rev. As soon as you get above 30-40%, you really start to find it. But with Marty with a driver penalty, we'll expect to see him in the next 2 laps after this one. Cam as well behind. I will not expect him to be fighting too heavily with Marty right now, because it'll be a little bit pointless. He has got himself in a bit of bother. He has to stop nonetheless. So Cam knows right now he doesn't need to fight it too heavily. He knows he can be a little bit more circumspect about trying to pass him. Further down the field, we've got a few cars closing up. We've got Matt Tibos closing up on the back of Major. Is he thinking about a move down into Aintree Corner? No, he's not. Into the loop. My apologies. You now come into Aintree Corner, which is the left-hander right here, where we saw, of course, 2013. A load of issues down here in this section of the circuit. Of course, the only British Grand Prix that's had major issues with tyres. 2013, 2017, and of course 2020 as well. Of course, where we saw Lewis Hamilton's tyre implode on the final lap, which was a bit scary, but he still won because that man's just Jesus. He's immortal to anything. Matt Tibos closing up. I'm not going to look up the inside. Not very close enough to get any opportunity for the time being. However, he might run into him.
That's close. That's close. Oh my god.
Went very wide out of cops there. Gained a lot of time. I think he might have damaged his car there, you know, Jazz. He really gave Major a fair old whack in the rear diffuser. So, if he has got that big, that's a shame. We expecting to see Marty in the pit lane this lap, I believe. We are, because he's in. So, in comes Marty, gets it nice and stopped. Doesn't pick up a 5-second time penalty. So, Cam now up to second. So, it's Ferrari leads Red Bull, leads Mercedes, lead Ferrari then. As now Matty, should I say, up into 3rd position. Mick now up to 4th. MCR now into 5th position. Behind them there, that gaggle of cars then. The Ramsam in 6th. Then we've got really Major, Matt Tibbles, Ryan, Harry, Chill as well. All in a bit of their own squabble. So far it is Matt Tibbles who is the man on the aggressive right now, trying to close up to the back of Major. But when you look around here, well, first opportunity really down here, the Wellington Strait, of course, named after the Wellington Bombers, which of course used to be situated here at Silverstone as well. As you come down through into Brooklands, down into Lufkin, of course, Brooklands named after the Brooklands circuit, which of course ran between 1906 and 1939. Well, let's see. Then is Mick Tebos. Got an eye up the inside there. Daddy the cops. Up the inside he goes. Pulls alongside the Alfa Romeo. Trying to hold around the outside. Squeezed off the road on the outside line, but he's still there. They touch. They touch again. This isn't going to work, boys. What if you're going to have to back out? And around goes the Alpine. He's going to keep it out the wall. He very much might just hit the rear axle. But he'll get away with it. He'll get away with it. But there another car comes a crupper. He's going to be himself in a bit of trouble. He's careful. Keep to the right-hand side. Lets him through. We'll have YHYY coming onto him. But Matt Tibbles got himself in a bit of bother. Around the outside goes the other Alfa Romeo. And there's the second Alpine now in trouble after I said earlier on they were hoping for a good afternoon. It's not worked. In comes Jasper. In comes Cam from your first and second.
Yeah, so they coming in then as expected at the end of lap 6 to serve the hard tyres, which will get to the end of this race. And I did a race around Silverstone along with my good friend Miss Evil Dragon, and the hards felt quite nice around it, as with many circuits on this game. But it took a while to get up to temperature, but after a few laps you were able to start pushing quite a bit. So the hards definitely the tide to be on for most of this race as Ryan Belshaw gets past Major. And by the way, we did ask about the weather earlier on, and it's dry for the whole race. So even if it's overcast at the moment, it's dry. But you never know, the game can suddenly change, as I found out quite a few times as they head towards Cops Corner once again. Up the inside, Jesus, chill. He's got the move, he made the move stick. Nicely done from the Britishman. Good recovery so far despite that spin earlier on. So it shows how quick he is around this circuit. What could have been, I think, for Chill if he didn't have that spin. I think he could have been fighting at least for the very top positions. But what is done is done. So as he tries to get a move through Stowe, which he does not. You can see he has better traction. Slayer gets past Ghost up to 11th position. Don't forget the top 12 in League of Europe score points. And if you do get fastest lap, you do get points as well. And Mark, also known as Old Score, has confirmed in the chat, if you do go into the pits to serve your 5-second penalty, you can't remove it. So
that's understandable there. Oh, big mistake there for Major on the outside. That is brave around the outside. Through into the loop. Round the outside and out the inside for the next corner. Major was sideways. Chill does not have any chill. But up the inside. Major's having none of it. Back through the inside then. The two drivers, they touch wheels then. On the exit of entry, they're going to go battling side by side down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Up the inside has the Alfa Romeo. The Alpha Tower on the outside line will hold the advantage. Has the better traction. Has the less acute line, and now can try and wallop away on the exit there. The Alfa Romeo far heavily will have the Williams coming up to try and take him, but the Englishman, there of Chill, flying up through the order then, ahead of Major. F not too far behind as well, might try and challenge then, potentially down into Maggins and Beckett, but I think he'll back out of that one. Knows right now there's a longer race than this one. We're on that 8 of 26, we've got some 18 laps to go. But now Chill up into 6th position. Next up we'll have Ryan. Is it Belcher or is it just Ryan B?
Harry F going for a move, Liam.
Yep, on the outside he tries. Go around the outside. Might try the old switcheroo then. Up the inside, but he'll be brave to go around the outside into the club chicane then. He might try it, but he'll be brave. Backs out of it. We've got another car now. Tibbles. Please don't tell me that's Matt Tibbles. It's Matt Tibbles, who's gone around the Alpine drivers, which continue their rotten luck since I said about having good luck earlier on. Hasn't gone well
Typical.
for them. Chill looking up for another position in a few moments' time. Then he has Ryan Belshaw, I believe it is, then, next to line up.
Yeah.
Left to right. As he gets a bit close, he'll have the Wellington Straight. He'll have DRS. He saved a lot of his DRS. He isn't pushing it too heavily right now. He knows more than anything this race is coming to him bit by bit. Certainly as well. He's got the pace. He has the momentum. And let's see what he can do further down. Major from Harry. Chris from Ryan B. Then Slayer. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car battle. Major there holding the court in the bottle then from the English team behind them, then really the English team behind them, and really the English team behind them, because Mercedes situated in Brackley, not too just a hairstone away from Silverstone as well, of course. Williams, which are, I believe, I can't remember where Williams are. Situated Grove and McLaren, which of course is situated in Woking. And as well, we've got
lead, battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead then as well. We've got a bit of contact further down the field. A lot of cars battling. Mickler getting close, but around the outside we've got Ryan B. We've got Chris Major getting themselves in a bit of a battle as well. That was Major. Oh, was that a pit lane entry there? That was very cool to come into the pit. Major dives in, almost brake checks. Chris, he didn't mean to do that, but he comes in the pit lane. Ferrari versus Mercedes, though, up front. It is the German team situated in Britain. Situated in Britain. Don't forget, 8 of the 10 teams. 7 of the 10 teams, I believe. Situated in Great Britain as well. Ferrari, Italy, of course. Britain for, well, Mercedes. We've also got Aston Martin. Williams, McLaren, Red Bull as well.
Red Bull's in Milton Keynes, I believe.
Yeah, Milton Keynes as well, of course. And a few teams, and of course the Alpine team situated in Enstone. Well, the Enstone team, which it's more commonly known. Talking of the Enstone team, it's just spun as I mention it.
Oh,
it just has to happen.
Just shush.
Why? Why does this keep happening when I mention the Alpine team or the Enstone team? They are just cursed forever.
I know. It's ridiculous. Is there another way we can call that team without saying their name?
Renault.
Renault. Oh, God, no.
Or Lotus. You call them Lotus. They were Renault. They were Lotus.
Or the Alonso team.
L Plan. The L Plan team.
Yes, I will take that.
The L Plane. Well, it might be L. It's not L Plan. It's L Pain right now so far.
Yeah, L Pain. I think I say for both Alpine drivers. Now, if I was Chill and Ryan Belshaw, I would come in as Ryan Belshaw on cue.
Jasper! Sorry to call over you. Jasper's dropped it on the exit of Chapel, and your former race leader now finds himself behind his rival, and now in comes the pits. A lot of them coming in. They might find themselves, Jasper, right now in a spot of bother.
Yes.
Let's see, though, where he's going to come out. He might just come out around the Haas Williams Mercedes.
Oh, Matt Tibos, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Not good at all.
I think Jasper's gonna come out really close between these guys there. As they come through turn number 1, he'll just come out ahead of the Williams. That spin nearly cost him a lot of time, but now that does mean, I believe, regarding we don't get a safety car right now, that Cam does lead the British Grand Prix in the Red Bull M, the American driver. Trying to take another victory. One, of course, the American leg at Cota and Miami. Trying to take another victory. I believe your
championship leader.
Yeah, you're right. Your championship leader, isn't it? Up front right now, of course, supporting the Queen and Country as well, running a pink-purple helmet as well, of course, in memory of course, which was the Platinum Jubilee earlier this year.
I know quite a few people are wearing black helmets tonight as well, and there's some people that are running the white. I think I know Matty's wearing a white helmet, which is fair enough. It matches the delivery. And yeah, we've got Chill in the pit. So's Harry F. Will Maverick's got to follow suit? If he no, he's not. So he's going to go for the overcut then. We'll see if that works. But bearing in mind, Liam, that the pit lane lost time around here. One of the longest on the calendar. 27.5 seconds. So
that was a guess.
That was a good guess, to be honest. You were very close by 0.5 of a second. 5 tenths, actually. Jasper, fastest lap. But where is Chill going to... So both Cam and Jasper got ahead of them. Ryan Belshaw ahead of them.
Served his 5 seconds, Jess. Remember that one as well. So he does no longer have a penalty. He comes out ahead of Ryan B behind Major. But Ryan B, is he going to have a think about a move in the next couple of seconds? He gets very close to the back of the AlphaTauri. He has the McLaren up behind him. Chill's going to have to burn some ERS, I reckon, through here because that Mercedes might try and come up the inside. Doesn't think of it. That isn't close enough either. And now let's see Chill, who has got a lot of pace, can try and bolt away, but he has to be careful, those cold tyres. What's up for the McLaren then? Trying to come up the inside as well, in the exit of Luffield. There then, that is Ghost then side by side with Ryan. They're both going to try and get a bit of a toe then from the Alpha Tauri, and who's going to get the toe? Most certainly it's going to be Ryan Bearsy. Ballard's a bit of ERS as well as Marty's has gone around the outside into Stowe around Maverick, who's going to come in the pit lane as well. But so far, things starting to fall into a place for some. Meanwhile, this gaggle of cars from 13th downwards, and Ryan's... Yeah, Maverick's in, but here comes Ryan. Which way is he going to go, right or left? He's going to go for the inside line. Chill's not going to battle this too heavily right now. He might try and come back up the inside and try and get DRS for the next time around. Jasper, fast lap of this race. Yet again, then, he is flighting the timing screens up there. Here at Silverstone, led this race from pretty much the beginning up to where he spun. Minus the fact that he wasn't leading because others haven't stopped, but he was the net race leader. Cam's inherited that 5-second gap so far he's got then. So Cam can afford to take a little bit of breathing space right now. He can afford just to bed those tyres in. Don't wear them too heavily. Just get him to the end of this race. You're on the hard side. We'll go to the end of this race from here. But so far we've got a few people still yet to stop. Mick leads this race from Matty in second. MCR in third. And Ramsam up in fourth position. Chris in fifth. Y8. Marty, and then of course your race leader Cam closing up bit by bit on the back of those top guys as well. 9 seconds away, and so far in terms of how far exactly off he is I believe around about 27 seconds. So Mick, in theory, according to my Jess AWS, should come out in the lead. However, they won't, because it does say 27 seconds, but we are counting people slowing down and stopping in the pit lane, so it's a bit longer than that. In and out, of course, around about 32 seconds. Cam, a big tank stabber. He looks like he's struggling right now with those hard sides. They do not seem to be biting very well. Jasper, meanwhile, he's definitely biting those tyres in. That gap closing a bit, but 31 to 31 seconds. So both even lap times. But up front, Mick 1.8 seconds from Matty in second, MCR in third. The Haas follows suit in fourth. We're going back to that battle, meanwhile, further down the field, and it is Chill, Ryan, Slayer. Ryan's now back behind Chill, I think, actually.
Nantram, 3-second penalty. So he's got a lot to deal with now whilst he was battling with MCR. So not good. 4 people with time penalties right now. So that most of them will be added to the end of their race time. Ryan B's not close enough to Chill on this occasion, as Chill is starting to pull away. He's getting quite comfortable with his tyres, isn't he, Chill?
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, they are getting to grip. Chill, of course, down in 12, had that issue earlier on. He's still in shot. Naramsam is done. That's Matty in the pit lane. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Another driver then. So that will not matter too much because he'll serve that just at the end of the race. So he can't get it removed because speeding the pit lane like that is, of course, against a wrong set of medium tyres. On goes the last 10 laps of this race. It's flown by pretty quickly then here at Silverstone. We are waiting for your top 4 or 5 drivers to come. And where is Maddie going to come out compared to Cam? I wonder. It's going to be pretty close actually between these two. Exit someone. He'll come out behind Cam, but he should come out ahead of Jasper. I think. Exit the pit lane then. So here is Matty. Behind him, you'll see Jasper. He's ahead of him then by a couple of seconds. So, you know what? Saying that, Mick might be in a chance of winning this race
Mick still might win this race because of that tyre delta between the soft, mediums and the hards is around about 6 tenths. So, if Mick could just about, even if he's just behind Cam, I'm almost certain Mick's going to have the tyre advantage to be ahead. So, Mick could do well. I think anyone on the memes that's around about a decent distance, so MCR, Mick, Matty, I think they could still do well, while Matt Tibos is adding to his woes this evening, and he's got another penalty. And saying about Mick, he's in the pits, and he doesn't speed into the pit lane because he's a good boy. To be fair, he wants to add to his podium streak because he got a podium last week. He got P2, but he wants to do one better. He wants to get a race win today, and he's looking like one of the favourites right now. So he comes in, set of mediums, will get to the end quite comfortably. Chris is in as well. So he follows Mick in. We'll expect White, Nantram, So where's Cam? I think it's going to be quite close, you know, because Cam is struggling on those hards. Mick may just be behind, but I'll double check that. So here comes Cam then. Then there's Mick. It's going to be tight.
Just out behind.
Just behind. I did say he would be just behind. Yellow flag.
Car off.
Ryan
B
Belshaw is out of the race.
Safety car.
And that's bad timing for Mick. If he left it one lap later, he would have still been the lead and would have gone on medium. So
that's a big off again. For that's another car that's had a big mistake down there on the last couple of corners. So he's gone on the curb. It looks like Carl's
Hamilton straight. It looks like.
Yeah, same place of course. Kevin Magnussen went off there. Remember, was it 2012? I think it was 2020. 2019 on 20 had a big off down there.
Yes,
so it's one of those corners. But I think that means MCR, in theory, will inherit the lead of the British Grand Prix then.
We will have to wait and see. The safety car pit lane lost time. If you're in the safety car, of course, you lose less time. So as long as he doesn't speed in the pit lane, don't speed. Yes, okay, he's not sped. Good boy, good job. So
it's like, is MCR a dog? That sounded like you were saying he was a dog.
I said good boy, good job, like he was.
It sounded like that's how I imagine I talk to a dog.
Okay.
He's got a 5-second time penalty, so let's see. Set us off. No, not set off. Yeah, there is a set us off tyres for someone. Who's that? Is that an Alfa Romeo coming for a set of softs?
No, it's a Haas, and someone has gone for a spin, and it is Matthew Voss.
Yeah, I think he's got floor damage. It is the Alfa Romeo Jess coming in for a set of soft tyres. In comes Cam.
Softs don't make it to the end, so they can't.
Remember, we are going to have 3 laps of safety car. So, in theory, they roll a set of softs. You do it for a few laps, you can get to the end. Cam's gone for a set of mediums. So he's going to come out down in 8th position. So MCR leads this race from the Ramsam in 2nd. Mick in 3rd. Then comes Matty Whitehates. Then comes Chris. Marty. Then comes Chill on the set of hard sides. Major Ryan B. Harry. Then comes Cam. That's really not worked for him. Jasper down in 13th position. Slayer's gone for a set of soft tyres, as well as Ghost as well. I believe the AlphaTauri going for a set of softs as well. So a few people going for the softs.
I think some people had no other choice, because otherwise they would have got swamped, I think, for people that went on the mediums. So yeah, MCR, the consistent driver, could win this race. And there was a few people in the chat saying they want MCR to do well. Mark's one of them. Someone else saying Vamos MCR, which is Go MCR. So there we go. And Nansram, it's going to be tough for the softs to get to the end, but I think they could just about do it. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were racing, because my tyre management is absolutely awful around this circuit. But obviously there's different driving styles. Their tyre management may be a lot better than mine, which hence why they've probably gone to the soft tyres, or maybe they don't know about the strategy at all. So we've got right, apologies about that. I don't know what's happened to my OBS, and that decided to have a bit of a moment, but we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And luckily with YouTube and with me being on OBS, there's no separate streams, so let us know if you can hear us fine. I think we are all good. But yes, we do apologise about the technical difficulties, but we'll go through your order then. So, MCR, your race leader. There was a safety car, so there's a mixture of strategies. 3 drivers have opted to stay out, which is Chill, Major and Harry F. So we've got MCR on the mediums, Nantram on the softs, Mick on the mediums, Matty on the mediums, YYY on the softs, Chris on the mediums, Marty on the softs, and I won't go too much detail about tyres now because the safety car is in this lap. Now we expect the ones on the softs to be like quick for the first couple of laps, but then they'll start to die after that. So watch out for Mick and Matty, because they're your race, well, MCR as well. Those 3 are the ones to watch on those medium tyres. We'll see how the ones on the mediums lower down the grid can do, as well as the soft tyre runners. But Liam, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, most certainly. Let's get ready then with 8 and a bit laps to go. MCR's bolted nice and early, and away we go then. Straight away then, back for the British Grand Prix. Last 8 and a bit laps then. Here today, MCR then for Naramsam. Then comes Mick then. Behind them as well, we got the likes of Matty, but the first opportunity, what can Naramsam do? As he heads down then into the first couple of corners, he needs to bide his time. He knows he's got a bit of time as well. Behind us, a few cars squabble. Up the inside comes YHY then on those set of soft tyres, and already Jess, they're on the attack, they're on the charge. This could get very messy very quickly though.
Yes, it can, and to be honest, a lot of people want to gain positions when safety cars happen. I've had that happen to me loads of times, and I ended up spinning as well. I always get bad luck during safety cars in LOE for some reason, especially if it's near the end. So YHYY did get past Matty up to P4 right now on the circuit. So there we go, on those soft tyres. He's got to pull away though, because otherwise the advantage he will have going towards the end of this race will cease to exist, unfortunately. So hopefully he can pull away from the medium runners. How he has, picking himself a 3-second time penalty. Nanshram, he's gonna have no DRS until lap 21, because that's when the DRS will be reactivated for the Haas driver. But we'll see, he's got the straight line speed, he's not going to overtake yet. He's going to save a bit of DRS, because if you use too much early on, you're going to run out towards the end. Ryan B in the Mercedes has got another time penalty. His race gone from bad to worse, as Cam's been passed by Major. He's going to go up the left-hand side. He's keeping it calm. There's not much space, to be fair, but he's doing all he can. He's being a bit patient. We've got Jasper to the left. We've got all that. Is that Ghost? That is Ghost. Yellow flag. That is Slayer. Slayer has binned it. Final corner as race has gone from bad to worse. We'll come up the left-hand side. We've got Marty as well. Let's watch Marty and the background as they're going side by side with Chris into the Wellington straight. Then we'll watch Chris as he's got the straight line speed up to almost 200 miles an hour heading towards Brooklands. Can't get past. There's just people that are annoyed that they can't get past, but they're just doing all they can at the moment. So we're on lap 20 of 26. The MCR is still holding on to the lead for now, and Mick getting frustrated that he can't get past Naran either, but he's being patient. He thinks to himself, right, I know Naran's side is going to die towards the end of the race, then I could catch up to him and then catch up to MCR. And don't forget, MCR does have that time penalty, so Mick, well, it's the net race leader, so he doesn't have to push too much. Even YHYY's tyre is starting to die early on as well, so. And don't forget, there are people running different tyre pressures. You don't really want to be running any at all around this circuit. If you run any, then you're in a bit of trouble. So that's probably what YHYY is doing at the moment. So lessons learnt, YHYY. Don't run many tyre pressures. As I think, is he going to get past Major? No, he does not. Major gets ahead of him. Cam was ahead of him for a little bit, but not quite by much, as DRS is now activated. So we will see if Nanshram could get the move past MCR, as we've got quite a few detection points. This is one of them. So Nanshram, he's got to do it, doesn't he? Otherwise, his advantage he will have by being on the soft tyres.
This is the opportunity,
come to the end. This is the opportunity. Here he comes to the left then, into Brooklands. Is he going to go to a sweeping left-hander into the lead of this race? And the answer to that question is yes. Nanshram is a race leader for now, but not your net race leader due to penalties then. As yellow flag, that is Slayer once again then, as the clouds are starting to go away. It's starting to get a little bit more clear here in Silverstone, and Mick could do all he can to get past MTR now.
Yeah, let's see what he can do, of course, and MCR, he could show Tom back into this low. He's not too far behind. Remember, those soft tyres only last about 5-6 laps, so if MCR is clever about this one, he can burn his ERS. He could try and slingshot straight back through then. He's going to have to do it now. If he's got opportunity, he's going to have to take the lunge. Thinks better of it. Loses a lot of time for doing it because he backed out of it. And all of a sudden, behind him, there comes Mick. In terms of those penalties, by the way, 5 and 6 seconds. So MCR really wants to get ahead of these guys. And then I hope that in Ramsam battles. Now Ramsam's hoping to try and pull a 6-second gap on Mick. That's what he's looking for right now. Mick so far. Marty fast lap of this race as well. We got a load of cars. Jasper fast lap of this race. Remember, he's on the mediums, which is interesting to see. He's behind Chill, of course, as well. Chill, they're up in 8 positions ahead then. So Chill got himself back into the points, but the two that led earlier on of Jasper and Cam found themselves in 9th and 12th respectively. That's not worked for either of them compared to what they were potentially looking at for sets of softs. But yellow flagged lad is Slayer retired from this race, making that the 4th retirement.
Matty's got past Y, and maybe a bit of space. Yeah, he does get past him. Nice move from the Mercedes driver. But look at Chris. He's right on the back of this as well. Can he be brave and get a move into Cops? He's going to think about it, but he's not going to, I don't think, because he hasn't got his overtake button on there if he's not. So, oh, he may go for a move here, actually, as YY go wide a little bit. Heading towards Maggots now. Then heading towards Beckett. He's got it done. Chris has got it done, and I have to say that is how you make a move into Cop's corner, my friend. Well done, Chris. He's up to 6th. He's got the pace to try and get past Matty potentially as well. Can he get past the car and in towards Stowe? No, Matty closed the door, but I have to say, Chris still in a shot of winning as well. His pace, I have to say, is really good right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. Meanwhile, Mick still on course for a victory then here at Silverstone. Marty, though, is looking ominous. In the background, the Aston Martin that took pole position earlier on suddenly finds himself in position on those centre soft tyres to win then in the British Grand Prix. He's looking for it on the inside line. That's not going to work, my friend. That was too late in this contact. Mick couldn't see him coming. Marty, and I said this before, they should be a bit more circumspect about trying to pass each other. And Marty just lunged for it. Thought it was nowhere near opportunity to get up the inside. There was no right for Mick to give him room there because he'd already started to turn. There was contact. Round he went slightly, but he hasn't lost too much time. He can still come into this one, Will Marty, but Mick got away with that one there because that could have been both of them sent around.
Yeah, that could have been awful. That could have been him out of the race. So thank goodness he's still in this race, but his advantage is long gone right now. Matt Tibos has spun again. Well, I'm not surprised, to be honest, Evil, that he's done that. But here comes Mick then. He's got the pace on MCR. MCR was weaving a little bit. And look at that. Mick is on the attack. He wants to win this race, he says. And to do that, he wants to get past MCR on track. And he does that quite comfortably. He's looking like he's the favourite so far on those mediums. He is the one with the most durable tyre out of the lot. And he's now going to chase down, as long as he can stay within touching distance of Nansram, then he's got this one in the bag. And Marty is still keeping in touch with his teammates, so he'll still finish in P2 if he does that. So that'll be good, but there may be penalties be given by the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. The stewards were quite busy in Division 3 last week. There's Jasper on the back of YY now. So I wonder, Liam, are these soft tyres starting to give up a little bit?
Yeah, they certainly might be doing that.
Oh, God, Jasper. Sorry.
As Jasper gets himself there around the outside, trying to go around right HYY, then out of our field, down into Woodcote corner. Burns the ARS, then they get very close of touching. Is he going to think about a move up the inside then? Goes into the toe, can't quite do it. Both of them are burning ERS. YH stays ahead, but not for long on the exit, because here comes Jasper on the right-hand side. And let's see then, is there going to be a bit of contact? He's going to have to back out his YH. He does do so, loses the rear end, as here comes Chill to try and snatch another position out of this race. Then up to now, potentially at least 8th position, as the Ramsam there overtaken. Mick leads this race then. Here in Silverstone, the Dutchman, off goes the Ramsam tyre, let's go. Through Stowe he goes, 360 degrees. Does he keep the engine running? Yes, he does. But it was a mistake there from the Ramsam. The other Dutchman then centering himself around, but it is Ferrari leading then on in Great Britain. And they're going to try and take another victory to extend what has been Britain's glory for Ferrari. Aston Martin 2nd and 3rd so far. Then comes, of course, the McLaren team then in 4th. Then comes the Mercedes. Then comes the car of the Ramsam. Jasper in 7th, still trying to get up 1 or 2 more positions. He can still get a top 5 out of this one. He still can get a podium out of this one, counting all the penalties we've got so far. But Martin, how much size he's got, how much more pace he got. He's got 1 and a bit laps to go. He's a second, 1.7 seconds out. So on this, of course, Mick picked up a penalty. Martin will not win the British Grand Prix then. When it's Ferrari, pretty respectfully and beautifully here in Silverstone, the Scarlet Ferrari comes, and the Scarlet Ferrari most certainly looks like it is going to conquer.
Yes, it is. At this moment in time, 1.5 seconds is the gap at the moment. Quite comfortable. Another yellow flag. That is Matt Tibbles again as Jasper gets past Nantram then. Up to 6th place. As you can see, Jasper was harvesting. He is harvesting now, actually. So he is charging the battery. And as I was saying last week, anything below 10% and you're in a bit of trouble in terms of power. So Jasper is going to have it all to do if he wants to get past Matty, even though Matty's got a penalty. So Jasper still could be on for a good result. If you got no penalties, by the way, you should be on for a great result. As Ryan B has got one, Nantram's got one. I shouldn't talk about penalties because suddenly more people soon start to get time penalties. But soonly we've got to pick our drivers of the day. We've got to pick 3 of them. But we will pick them in at the minute because we've still got quite a bit of this race still to go. As MCR still catching up to his teammate. Jasper still on the back of Matty. There might be some brave moves on the last set. So there's still quite a bit of train going on in the background, so anything can happen. As thank goodness we're the ones that don't have to do the maths around here. Is Jasper, can he get the move through Cops quietly? No, he does not. He's the one that's closest to go for the race victory. As we've got Mick who's going through into Chapel then, heading towards the hangar straight. Oh God, as Jasper's made big contact with Matty there. That was close, but Mick has got a few more corners to go. He goes through Stowe, and this is looking very good for him. He finished 2nd last week, and it looks like he's going to get the dub this week, Liam.
Yeah, through he comes then, into the Vale chicane, then through into Club. The last corner then, the British crown rise then, as the Ferrari takes the checkered flag then and wins the British Grand Prix. Marty across the line in 2nd. Chris then, the McLaren team, it's a English 2-3 podium then for the British team then comes Jasper in 4th. Chill then, the Englishman, going up to 5th at the end. MCR down to 6th. Cam up to 7th. YH from Ghost. Naramsam Matty. Harry Maverick has got a puncture across the line. We are waiting for Ryan B and then Matt Tibos at the back of the field to finish this race. As well, through the last couple of corners then comes the last 2 cars then. Ryan B comes through the club chicane, then right, then left, and then right again. Then he'll cross the line in 15th. And we are just waiting, of course, for the... Matt Ryan gets the fast lap of the race on the final lap as well. Fair enough. Through comes Matt Tibbles. I don't think he's going for the fast lap of this race. His car looks horrible. And across the line... Well, talking of being horrible, he spun it. And across the line backwards as well.
There we go. So we finished quite early tonight, Liam. That just shows the British Grand Prix is not that long in terms of length, and Mick gets driver of the day. So we will pick our drivers of the day in just a minute. We will at least speak to our race winner in just a moment. So we'll speak to at least 2 as well. So 2 of our podium drivers as well, but we'll go for our driver of the day first. So here's your race results then. Mick is your race winner. Marty in 2nd, Chris 3rd, Jasper 4th, Chill 5th, MCR 6th, Cam 7th, Y12Y 8th, Ghost Knight, Nantram in 10th. We've got Matty, Harry F, Maverick, Major, Ryan B and Matt Tibos are your finishers, and your retirements are Slayer, Ryan, Belshaw, Jelly and Abode. So we got to pick 3 drivers of the days. Liam, who's your first one?
I'm going to give it to Chill then, the Englishman. 5th position, good recovery from earlier on. As well, dropped it, came back through the field and got that 5th right at the end thereafter. A few people picked up penalties. A very solid drive from the British driver.
Yep, so Chill gets 1. I'm going to give mine to Mick because he didn't start on pole. He started in 8th position, timed the strategy to perfection, and no matter what strategy he would have gone on today, he would have won anyway. So, good job to him. So, Mick gets my driver of the day, and, well, we got to pick a third. I'm torn, actually. Chris has had some good pace.
Jasper potentially as well. He's had a very decent outing today.
Yeah, well, it's very tough between Chris and Jasper, but you know what? Chris had good pace, hardly any mistakes. He made some great moves. I didn't pick 2 driver of the days last week, hence I'm going to pick 2 this week. So I'm going to give mine to Chris because of the great moves he's made throughout the race and the great battles as well. So our drivers of the days are going to Chill, Chris, and our race winner, Mick. Talking of Mick, whilst I get my stuff sorted for my race, I'll let Mr. Evil Dragon talk to our race winner. So he's waiting in the interview box and I will drag him in.
Yep, as I just coughed myself as I'm had a throat full of disease. But yeah, of course, to our race winner, of course, Mr. Man of Mr. Micklin, the Dutchman, wins then it. Ferrari wins the British Grand Prix. A topsy-turvy Grand Prix, a lot of carnage, a lot of drama. How did you find it out there?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I kind of avoided it. I didn't really see a lot of carnage, except for I think lap 1 it was, and then turn 3, I think, where I had to avoid a few cars. But apart from that, I didn't really see many of crashes and things.
Yeah, strategy looked very decent from you as well. Of course, safety car. How much did that help you reckon?
Yeah, safety car was not at the right moment. I was thinking about it, of doing the hard soft strategy and waiting for a safety car, and then maybe I'd pit. But my teammate said just go for hard medium, and then I went for the mediums, and then the safety car came. But it eventually worked out, so I don't really mind.
Indeed. Well, we'll go and drag in second position, I believe. Is it second? I think it's second position.
Yeah, it is second.
Other comrade as well. Let's go and drag in Marty as well. And Marty, a podium for you. You had a good shot the last couple of laps at potentially winning the race. You did end up coming a bit of contact at the last couple of laps with Mick, but no harm done there. How do you find it out there? If Marty can hear us, probably should have said that. Marty?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How did you find it out there?
I just threw away a win. It was, if I didn't get that drive-through, it was an easy win.
Yeah, indeed. Drive-through penalty, of course. Wasn't it under virtual safety car, wasn't it?
Yeah. I got greedy and I didn't expect at all to get back in the podium. I wanted to get some decent points, but I didn't expect a podium at least. And yeah, if Mick didn't turn on me, I'm sure I would have gotten. And then the Haskar, I don't know who was driving, spun, then I would have been ahead. But still, it's a decent result and some good points.
Indeed. Jess, have you got any questions?
Well, you are starting to find a bit of form, Marty. A big congratulations to you for your podium. So, in just under 7 days' time, we head to France, another sprint race format. Now, I don't think you did too well in the last sprint race. I can't remember which one it was. Was it? I can't remember what the last sprint race was. But how are you going to turn it around for next week and show that you can continue your form as of late, your good form?
For France, probably, I don't know. I will expect a podium, but I'm not sure. Other drivers might surprise us. I don't know, but for sure, another good points. I expect.
That is my question, Liam.
Yeah, as indeed, I think you can probably round it up in a second because I see our other driver has disappeared off the podium interviews.
Yeah, he's not available. He can't. He's not able to talk to us, unfortunately. But I have to say, Chris did very, very well. But congratulations to our podium sitters. Thank you to all the drivers who have watched who took part in today's race. Thank you to all of you that was watching today's stream. We really do appreciate it, whether you're watching it live or post-event. And also, thank you to my co-commentary partner as well, Mr. Evil Jagger, for joining me as per always. And it should be a fun sprint race format next week at the circuit, the Castellet at the Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. And I think we need to start giving good luck to Alpine because we seem to curse them a bit more. But there we go. But anyway, we will leave you to it because Division 2 and Division 5 is about to, it's starting in 20 minutes' time at the same circuit, Silverstone. And whereas we got someone making his Wii Racing debut, Mr. Evil Dragon. Before we go, how are you feeling?
There
you go. So make sure you go and cheer Liam on as well for his first LOE race. I'm racing as well, but give all the support for Liam because it's his first race. But anyway, we're going to go, but we're going to leave this stream with a screenshot of the Queen for about a minute as tribute to the death of her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. But until next week, I've been Jessica Bull, and Liam New has been Evil Dragon. We will see you soon, and make sure you check out Division 2 and Division 4 at 8:10 in just under 20 minutes' time. Until then, goodbye.